Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the novel I just finished, and I talked a little bit about this in the last video. It's Captive Queen, a novel of Eleanor of Aquitaine by Alison Weir. Now, usually I have read some of Alison Weir's books in the past, and usually I enjoy them immensely. I read Innocent Traitor, a novel about Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen, and I've read her biography about Mary Boleyn. That was really good. And so she has the potential to be a really good writer. I've fallen in love with many of her books. But this book particularly, I did not like very much. Now, what's the book about? The book starts off with Eleanor of Aquitaine. She is Queen of France. She's married to Louis, King of France, so she's Eleanor, Queen of France. And I think it's the Duke of Anjou, Henry, comes in to make this sort of peace treaty, and her and Henry, Eleanor and Henry, they fall in love, and she divorces Louis of France and marries Henry, who would be Henry II of England. So she eventually becomes Queen of England. Eleanor, Queen of England. And I did finish it. I did want to finish it, so I didn't immensely stop. I wanted to finish it. I really love historical fiction, so I really wanted to finish it. But this was not, in my opinion, this was not one of her best works. Like I said in the last video, it was really long. It was 16 discs, and in print form it was 522 pages, or something like that. There was no need for it to be this long. And, not to sound prudish or anything, because I know this thing that I'm going to talk about exists. I'm not a prude. I don't have a problem with it, like, in certain circumstances. But there was a lot of sex scenes in this. I was on disc 3. When I was on disc 3, which was probably, like, maybe chapter 14 or something like that, there was already, like, 4 or 5 sex scenes in this book. And I hadn't really started too far into the book. And I know it's out there, but in this kind of story, it wasn't really necessary, and it was really graphic. It's like, what is this, you know? And I understand it's out there. Like, I'm not trying to be prudish or whatever. I understand it's out there, but something like this, I don't think it's necessary to have all these different sex scenes. And the conflict, there's a big conflict within history that goes on between Henry II of England, when he's king of England, and and his sons. And there's this big conflict, and it was really big within the family and within the I guess bounds of, I guess, royalty, if I'm pronouncing that correct, if I'm quoting that correctly. And it was this huge conflict. Yeah, it was like at the last third of the book. Like, there's like 67 chapters. It was on chapter 54 or something like that. So it was really at the end of the book. And it's like, that's like the big thing that goes on. Why that shouldn't be kind of rushed. That should be, at the that should be like what the main focus of the book is about. So that really kind of bothered me as well. And what I did like about the book, I loved the description in it. Alison Weir is really good at knowing her history and writing it to the best of her ability that she can in this, because women really weren't seen as anything in those time periods, and so you don't really know what she thought or whatever, but we're able to get a glimpse back in history and see what they wore and all that stuff, and I like those little tidbits, and it's really, she does a really good job of that. But overall, this was not her best work, in my opinion. But, I mean, I'm not trying to say, oh, it's a horrible book, don't read it. Make your own decisions. Like, my book reviews, I'm just kind of quoting my opinion. And if you want to read the book, that's fine. I want you to read the book to see what you think. But this is not her best work. And if you maybe want to read one of her better ones, I would recommend reading or listening to the book Innocent Traitor, the novel of Jane Grey, who was the 9 Days Queen. That was a really good book, in my opinion. But overall, this was not one of her best works. But I might continue to read some of her other works. But this was just too long, and parts of it were too graphic and sexual. And some of that stuff was kind of unneeded. So that was just my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. Like, subscribe, and share my videos. Thank you.